This is an important interview because the Oilers have not been to the Stanley Cup Final since 2006, and that is when Raffi Torres was running around, running people over, scoring big goals. Raffi Torres joins us now on Oilers Nation every day. Raffi, welcome to the show. Excited to have you on.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I loved when you were in town firing up the crowd at the arena a couple games ago. What do you make of the vibe at New Rogers Place, and how does it compare to Rexall in 06?
Well, listen, the vibe. Great. The town, the fans, it's just so electric, and it's nice to get the blood going and to see the the feelings that are coming out and all the the memories, the amazing memories that Edmonton brought to us in 06 and to the town and stuff. Really, really, really nice to be back in Edmonton. I was able to have my daughter, my son, and my wife with me, which was amazing. And they've never been to, like, obviously there's Toronto here, but Toronto hasn't been to something like that in a while. But just being in my daughter looking around like, wow, this is insane. The whole city is going crazy right now. And I'm just like, hey, this is how it was in 06. And it was a special feeling. It's a great chance for this for the city to take over the country and really do something special here.
I just want to go on the crowds. I think we can all agree Game 6 against Dallas wasn't exactly a masterpiece by the Oilers, but they got across the line. But one thing I felt is that, like, the fans played such a huge part in that game to, like, will the Oilers across the line. During that run in 06, was there ever a moment where maybe it wasn't going you guys' way, but the crowd was just so electric it helped you get across the line?
I tell everybody in 06, I have permanent ear damage on my left ear just from skating out onto the ice, and 100%. The fans jumping in there and getting the team going, and you know what? You're not going to play your best, throughout the whole series. It's or the whole playoffs, and not say it's 2 months of every other day going back at it. You need the help from the fans. I was a big, I fed off the crowd. So and it didn't really take a goal or anything like that. Maybe a block shot, finishing a hit, getting the puck deep, electric, fans in Edmonton know what they're screaming for, know what they're yelling for. They love that blue collar type, lunch pail type player. And, for me, it was great. Was able to feed off that. Right.
So who gives you those kind of vibes on the Oilers right now? Is there a player who you watch, you're like, man, this is a fan favorite in Edmonton. This is what Oilers hockey's about.
Hey, listen, I love Ekholm. I know he's been taking a lot of heat, Nursey, but Nursey's he does a lot of good stuff out there, something that can't go unnoticed. And I like Connor Brown. I think he's played some probably the best hockey of his career, some of these games lately. It's nice to see, but you know what? It's a great opportunity for these guys that come in. I just go to bed right now. I'm just, oh man, just the feelings that I had going into the night before, leading up to the Stanley Cup Finals. What a great atmosphere! What a great time to be a hockey player, and especially in Edmonton. So really excited for these guys, and there are guys that are going to step up, and they have been all along the way. Obviously, I think if they're going to do something special, your best players have to be your best players, just from my experience. The role players can do their part, but, listen, McDavid won that game for them. I thought even it was a flat game, but there's no one in the world that can score that first goal like he did. And, just willed their way to a win.
I think that's obviously really interesting. Another thing right now, Oilers are off for 5-6 days before game one. And you guys in 06 obviously had that really long gap as well. If you could give a piece of advice to someone on the team right now of what's the best way to handle this extended gap ahead of game one, what would that be?
Rest is a weapon. Like, people don't understand that. Like, we had some time off going into the Stanley Cup Finals, and then I think there was another one. I think it might have been after the first series to Detroit. I think there was a few days off there. Now, we were celebrating like we already won the cup after every series win, but now's the time for them to rest up, go through the game, and really what and really kind of run through the video. What are we going up against? Florida ain't going to be no joke, right? We know that they play hard, and they're an in-your-face type hockey team, and but nothing the Oilers are. I don't think that they can handle, right? Let your game, let your experience, and let your the knowledge of the homework that you've been doing over the last few days take over.
Yeah, I think that's fair. When you look at this year's version of the team, and I got a couple more 06 questions because I'm reading our chat right now and it's blowing up and they want me to ask you so many 06 things. So I promise the chat will get to some of those questions, but just one more on this year's team. You've seen them up close a little bit now. You've been following the run. What's been the most impressive part of this, as kind of a blanket question? What part of this team's game kind of leaves you sitting there going, wow, this is really special the most?
I think it's got to be special teams with these guys. You have Draisaitl, you have McDavid, Bouchard. These guys are. I mean, we're going to be talking about these guys for the next 50 years. What they're doing out there, and you saw a couple times there. I think it only took them, less than 20 seconds a couple times to get a power play goal. It's dangerous, right? And playing against a team like that when you're the opposing team, knowing that you gotta, you want to play in your face, you can't take minutes because games on that, right? And then the PK. The PK is just outstanding to me. It's they're making it hard for the team to enter the zone. They're driving those guys down the wall. It's hard to make plays when you got your back to the players, right? You can only use the boards and you can only make those seam passes so much. But I think the Oilers special teams they're having that in the back of their pocket. They have to take advantage of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a question written down here, and it was, what would you describe as your personal big moment during that playoff run? But we got a comment who wanted me to ask you about your goal specifically in Game 6, and if you can still kind of remember that feeling, and obviously the celebration you had that was honestly iconic amongst Oilers fans.
Listen, like I said, it was at that point in my career, I'm an established NHL player. I've already won the Stanley Cup a million times in my basement down in Markham, Ontario, but now you're doing it for real, right? And, just to get so close and to get where we were on a team that, not too much was expected of us. I mean, we had some big names, but didn't really come together late as a group. And to be able to score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals, listen, I wanted to jump in the 15th row when that happened. And it's not necessarily the prettiest thing or this and that, whatever. It's more about getting to the dirty areas of the ice and willing to do whatever it takes, right? And I think that's the message. You see a lot of these goals that are scored now. It's not tic-tac-toe, wow, fancy-dancy. It's like, blue nose, hard nose. Get your ass to the front of the net. Something goes off the body or your stick, and that's where you want to play the game. You got to get to the hard areas of the ice, and to be able to score a goal in Game 6 like that. Special feeling for me, right? And something that I truly relive in my day-to-day thing going back.
Yeah, that was, I still remember that one as well. Like, obviously I was real young during the 06 run, but I remember being at the game 6 of that cup final. I remember spending the first 5 minutes with my hands over my ears because it was so loud in that building. And then the place goes absolutely bananas when you bury that one. We got another one in here that wants to know, off the ice, was there a moment that stands out to you from that run? Maybe a moment of a ride home, like we heard Matthias Janmark talking about how he drove his mom home after the game 6 the other day, and his mom recorded the entire way home because she couldn't believe how wild the streets were. Off the ice, do you have a memory from that 06 run that stands out? Maybe a first moment where you're like, wow, this is special what we're doing.
Absolutely, and it's pretty much hitting on that one that you just noted there. We're flying back from, I think it was the second series in I think it was San Jose or whatnot, from the airport all the way back to like Jasper Ave. We had multiple cars and flags honking horns at us. Stoli and I are in the Range Rovers cruising down. We're like, what is going on here, man? This is insane. I've never experienced anything in my life before. And people need to realize that, Oiler fans, listen, I'm not just saying that because, I played there, this and that, whatever. I played on 7 teams, okay? And nothing compares to Oiler fans hockey. These people, they know the game, right? They're going to back you up. They're going to do whatever it takes to support you. And you have to ride that. You have to just, for me, that was I didn't even need to warm up before the game because I was like, oh, once I hear the fans going, done. My body's warm and ready to go. That's how insane that these guys can get. So, like I said, I'm really excited for this Oiler team to watch and just to be a part of what could be a special couple weeks coming up here.
Yeah, could be. Oilers fans obviously love you. Our chat's been blown up. Nathan, Raffi, you signed an Oilers mini stick for me like 10 years ago. Of course you remember that. That's a good one. Vamp is in and says, can Raffi be ready to start on the 8th? We need someone to take care of Matt Tkachuk. I mean, if you were out there, I don't think Tkachuk would be a big problem.
Listen, I would love to play in my prime against a guy like Tkachuk today. He's an in-your-face type hockey player. He goes all he like, what can you not say about this guy that he's accomplished? I have a lot of respect for a player like that backs it up. Put the puck in the net, plays in all areas of the ice. But man, I would love to play against a guy like that back in my day. It'd be a challenge for me, and it'd be I know it'd be a challenge for him. But it would definitely be a lot of fun for me to play against a guy like that.
I got a couple more in here for you because I promised the chat I'd read a few more. Everyone's seeing the tats. Jay wants to know, do you have any Oilers tats? We had Zach Haskin on the other day. He had an oil drop tattoo.
All right. No, listen, unfortunately, I don't have any Oiler tats. A lot of my tattoos are stuff that has to do with my wife and my kids, all meaningful stuff. Not to say that Oilers wouldn't be wasn't meaningful. It was a big time in my life, a great 4.5, 5 years of my life. But listen, if there was any hockey related, tattoo that I would get, probably be an oil drop somewhere.
I love it. Okay, one more, and we're going to make this one our Great Clips inbox question. Again, more than 4,400 hair salons throughout the United States and Canada. Check them out, greatclips.com. Look and use the Great Clips check-in app to see the wait time. Check it on your phone. Get your haircut when you want. Great Clips, it's going to be great. I thought this one was really creative. It came in from Brendan. He says, ask Raffi if he could bring one player from this year's Oilers and put them back on that 06 team to help you guys out. Who would it be? But his preface was, it can't be McDavid or Draisaitl. So we want you to get into the weeds and think a little bit.
Wow, good question. Jesus. Listen, you know what? It's tough to say. I like I said, I have a lot of respect for guys like Connor Brown and Holloway and the way they play like that. Unfortunately, we did have a lot of those players on type players on our team back in the day. You know what? Listen, we lost Rolison in game 1. If I could go back and do it all over again, if we have Skinner in that final series, we're winning that series. So, good for him. Skinner's gone through a lot. He's missed the one game that I think that the other goalie Picard came in and did a job. Sometimes you have to learn from it's good to watch from up top and see what's going on and look at him now. Like, he's just thriving right now. And if you have a solid goaltender, we lost Rolison in game 1 there. If we don't lose Rolison, it's good. You could obviously say, yeah, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We would have won that series. But, ultimately, like I said, I think it would have to be Skinner, right? You got to have that solid goaltending, and he's doing his part, and he's learned from what he had to learn from. And expect big things out of him in the next couple of weeks. Oh,
I love the love for the local boys too.
Right.
I don't have any more questions, but my dad has been texting me the whole time we've been doing this. And this is not a question. This is just a pure statement. I grew up in England. My parents came over here. They turned on the radio. There was an Oilers game on. This was 2005-06, somewhere around there. I knew the first player's name he ever heard that was an Edmonton Oiler. So he wanted to let you know he's been following you, and you're one of his favorite players to play in the NHL. So there you go. Great. There you go, Dad.
I appreciate that. And I always have a lot of respect for my fans. Obviously, the way things ended with my career, I didn't, it was uncontrollable for me. I was going through some injuries, battled some suspensions, stuff like that. I always have a lot of love and respect for the people that actually remember my type game, that I was able to, at my time, be one of the top guys and help out and do his part for his team. That's nothing but love for that. I appreciate that.
Any plans for you to be back in Edmonton for a cup final game?
We're thinking about it. If I do come out, like I said, I already came out with my with the whole family. If I do come out, it'll probably just be my wife and I. We'd love to come probably watch a game. Whether it works for us schedule wise here, we got kids that are 14 and 11, and it's either she's the Uber driver or I'm the Uber driver. But a lot of stuff going back here. But listen, if we can make it work, we'd love to come out. If it doesn't happen, we'll be watching definitely for sure. So let's go Oilers.
Awesome, love it, Raffi. We'll end it on that. Appreciate your time, man.
Hey, anytime, guys. I appreciate you having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Raffi Torres, 06 legend, Oilers legend, Raffi Torres, and the chat just absolutely on fire as well, which I love when you guys show the support to the guests we get to. That's great.
Yeah.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.